What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Tactical Hyve. It's Joe Farewell, and I'm excited to bring you for another quick tip. Today we're talking about shotgun transitions, and while this is going to be a fast one, we do get into a lot more detail in this in my dry fire program, as well as some of the other classes that I do. But we're going to give you some tips right off the bat that's going to help you in your 3-gun game, making sure that you're able to get this into the barrel effectively and safely, and make sure that you're getting your pistol out efficiently. So let's go right into it. The transition from shotgun to pistol is one of those things that can take a lot of time if you haven't practiced this and you don't have a good technique for it. So what I want to show you today is how I do it, how I've figured out works every single time in a match, and when we're working with a barrel type of dump bucket. There's a couple of different variations out there as far as if you're working a dump table or something like that, but what we're working with today is a dump bucket. This is pretty common to see in a match format, whether it's a 55-gallon drum, a trash can, doesn't really matter. The same techniques works either way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up, we're gonna take one shot. I'm gonna show you two different techniques. The first one is one that I see all the time people doing, which takes a lot of extra time because you're doing one thing at a time. It's gonna look something like this. We're gonna start off with the shotgun at port arms. We're gonna come up, take one shot on the plate rack, transition the pistol, and take another shot on the plate rack. And we're gonna look at the time there. All right, stand by. Okay, so in that situation, I'm basically dumping the shotgun, then drawing my pistol and taking a shot. The total time for that was 3:14 with a transition time of 2.43 seconds, so 2:43. All I'm doing here is I'm putting the safety on, dumping it with my right hand, drawing my pistol, coming up and taking that shot with my right hand as well. What I want to do instead is I want to make sure that this gun is getting into the dump barrel while I'm still drawing my pistol. So if I can get two things happening at once, that is the goal for all efficiency in general. So what that's going to look like is something like this. So we can already see that that's significantly faster. That was a 280 with a transition time of 2.06. All right, so that looks like we're going right at 2 seconds for the transition from one gun to the other. If we push that a little bit faster, we can even get that down under 2 seconds pretty quickly. But I want to walk you through the actual process of what's happening here. The first part is we want to make sure that the safety is on. If you have the safety off, once the gun's in the barrel, that can be a disqualification depending on the vent rules that you're going to, or at least a very hefty penalty, 30, 60-second penalty depending on where you are. So the biggest issue here is getting the safety on. When I do this, I take that shot, I flip this shotgun out and I hit the safety with my thumb. So as I roll the shotgun over, I hit the safety. And what I want to go do from here is get a grip right here over the loading port. I don't want to move too far back because then the front of the shotgun is going to drop too fast. I don't want to hold it too far forward because then I'm going to have to really work to get this tail of the shotgun up. If we hit the center point, that balance point right here in the middle of the receiver, that shotgun just tips in nice and easy. Now, I do this over the top here with this shotgun because I have the loading port, or the charging handle, I'm sorry, on the left-hand side. That's a custom modification that was done by Distant Arms. It helps me with my manipulations when I'm doing unloaded starts or bolt lock reloads and stuff like that. But most shotguns are going to have that loading or the charging handle on the right-hand side. What that means for you is you're going to grab basically right here with your thumb over top of the loading port. You're going to let that shotgun tip in, and I want to go ahead and start my draw process. Basically, once I hit that safety, I'm moving my hand straight to my gun, establishing a good grip, bringing it up, establishing my second grip, and taking that accurate shot. Once that gun's in the barrel, we want to go back to the fundamentals of our handgun, making sure that we're getting a good sight picture, a good trigger prep, accurate shots on target all the way across the board. So one other thing that you need to be mindful of is making sure that your safety is not getting knocked back off by the barrel. So sometimes, depending on the height of the barrel, this can fall over and actually bump your safety back off, depending on the design of the trash can, if they're using trash cans for dump barrels. Something to be mindful of. It's not a whole lot you can do to fix that, except for really be careful about dumping it in there. As a range officer, one thing that you can do is watch for the shooter to be putting the safety on as they're dumping it versus coming back and checking it afterwards to see if it's off. We still have to check it. We still want to make sure the gun is on safe once it's in the barrel, but we want to give the benefit of the doubt to the shooter at any point that we can, as long as everyone's being safe and abiding by the rules. So in closing, a couple points just to remember: making sure that we're getting the safety on as we kick that gun out. We get a good grip right in the middle of the receiver, let that tip in, and we watch the tube into the barrel. As we draw our pistol out, establish a good grip, go back to the fundamentals of handgun, and make sure that you're doing everything efficiently and smoothly. I hope that helps you guys in your 3-gun game, and I get to see you at a match soon.